Hello, hello. I am so excited to welcome two incredible, amazing women, Lori and Kendra from Canada, but also because of their awesome store called Gorgeous You, which is mostly done online, but they travel around, do tons of events to support their community. And I'm so grateful and thankful that I got to meet them many years ago when they first kicked off this innovative idea to support the community up there. And I'm just so pleased and honored to have you both. So thank you for joining me in the dressing room.
Thank you for having us, Dana. And we always really think about you when we think about the beginnings of Gorgeous You, because our first conversation with you was really when we looked at each other and said, yeah, let's do this. You were a real inspiration for us to start this journey. So we just so appreciate this opportunity and appreciate everything you've done for us to support us. So thank you for that.
Well, this love fest continues because I am a strong believer that none of us can do this alone. And there's so much support and so much attention, advocacy, education, all of these things that are required for us to navigate this horrible thing called cancer. And you guys have such a unique story of how you're even here together in the first place. So why don't we kick it off by sharing a little bit about who each of you are and how you guys did come together to create this beautiful, beautiful thing called Gorgeous You.
Great.
Well, Lori and I met way back. I paused only because I wasn't sure whether I should say way back, and I definitely need to say way back. So way back in university, we actually met. We were both taking in the same business program. So, enjoyed our friendship then. And then as things often happen, you graduate, you get a job, you get married, have kids. And lo and behold, I guess I've been in this house for, 19 years now. And this is where we operate Gorgeous You out of. And I moved here, and not even, 2 weeks later, Lori moved in literally around the corner. So clearly the universe wanted us back together again. And because of unfortunate circumstances, we did make the decision to create Gorgeous You. And that was, I had lost my mother just prior to moving here. She lost her battle to breast cancer. And very shockingly and surprisingly, only a few years after moving here and rekindling our relationship was Lori diagnosed with breast cancer.
Yeah, and I'll just sort of jump in and sort of share my sort of perspective on our coming together for Gorgeous You. Kendra was definitely my biggest resource, friend, support, given she had been through it not that long before with her mom, and was really sort of by my side through that journey. And that was over 12 years ago. So I was diagnosed as I call myself a young breast cancer survivor at 37, but having Gorgeous You, we've had clients in their 20s. So I feel like I can't even sort of say that anymore when I think about some of the young women that we service. But I struggled a lot with my journey in finding not only products to fit the needs of a young woman, but I really didn't like the shopping experience. And in Canada, they're actually, mastectomy stores are often deemed medical supply stores. And so the experience in our neck of the woods was really not a pleasant one. And Kendra would come with me and find me in tears in a dressing room. And I really, really struggled with the shopping experience and the products. And fast forward about 8 years, I had a double mastectomy and went through chemotherapy and radiation. So chose not to do reconstruction, but continued to struggle with my body as a young woman and decided to reconstruct. And 2 days prior to the surgery, my husband looked at me and said, honey, what are you doing this? If you're doing this because you think it's going to make you more beautiful, you don't need to do this. If you're doing it for your mental health, absolutely 100%. But, and it was a real eye opener for me to say, why am I doing this? I've lived quite happily, but if I'm going to live as a woman that has chosen not to reconstruct, I need to find products that are going to really service the body that I have. And I had taken a leave of absence from work. I'm a professor at a college in Toronto and a business professor. And I called up Kendra and I said, I've got 4 months off. I was going to take 4 months to go through this reconstructive process. we've often talked about working together, and I said, let's try to find some solutions for me and women like me. And now's the time. And hence Gorgeous You was born with sort of a mission to service women and provide them with not only the products, but a shopping experience that was not just that was not just dignified, but enjoyable. And I think we've achieved that with what we have with Gorgeous You. So
it's such a beautiful story. And as you know, somebody who's been diagnosed with breast cancer and being able to understand, you know, all these pain points that you just talked about, but also like as a caregiver, right? Like as a daughter to a mother, it really makes you guys such an awesome dynamic duo to give back and serve this community. So you've been working together for a few years now. Tell me, what are some of your proudest moments together that you guys have, you know, throughout this journey of now starting a business after all of this madness?
Oh, gosh, Dana, so many proud, special moments. We just, gosh,
I get goosebumps, even just the question just makes me,
Yeah, we love our customers. They are just amazing women. And I think, you know, I think daily I have these proud, special moments, whether it be on a phone call or an email exchange or a virtual consultation. And you know, it's that original, in most cases, it's that original like opening where there, you know, you can sense the fear, the frustration, confusion, physical pain, and, you know, your conversation is sort of proceeding. And then it's that like relief that's almost palpable that you can hear through the phone. And you know, the realization that, okay, I found someone that gets it. I found someone who can provide me with the solutions and the products that I need, and it's going to be okay. So, you know, those little triggers are like sort of like the icing on the cake for me. I know on almost like a daily basis, but I know you're looking for more of a specific story. And I guess I would talk about Connie then. And I think she resonates with me because we met her right after we had started Gorgeous You, and she called me, and she lives in a remote area in Northern Ontario. She's a cleaning lady, and she lives right across from the lake. And she was sort of opened the conversation by saying, you know, I haven't been able to swim since my unilateral mastectomy, and I love the water. I miss the water so much. I used to, you know, get my sweat on with my work, and then like to, you know, take a swim on the way home but she, you know, hadn't been able to do that. We continue our conversation. What are you wearing? Well, I'm wearing my bras from pre-cancer, stuffing them with my sports socks. You know, how's that working for you, Connie? Well, not so well. I don't really look very good. I hide behind my husband's big sweatshirts now. And so, you know, and again, you know, you hear semblances of this in other conversations, but I think what really shocked me was when she told me that it had been 8 years prior that she had been doing this, you know, swimming, like hadn't been in the water, hadn't put on a swimsuit. So, you know, quickly, you know, sized her for a prosthesis, sent her out some swimsuits, got her, I'll remember this day, and it was the pocketed full coverage. That was way back. And in that original shade of pink. And, you know, sent that off to her. And she called us a week later, just ecstatic. She'd been swimming and, you know, loved her bras, couldn't believe how comfortable it was. And I remember she's the one that said, when I'm wearing my bra, it feels like a hug. I love that. And so anyway, Connie calls us every year. She's swimming and, you know, wearing t-shirts again, booked a cruise with her friends.
We heard about her cruise. We were the first call when the cruise was booked. And, that's right.
So that's our Connie story.
I'll just share a couple of mine. So to Kendra's, just to echo, and I did want to say, I'm not sure if this was in the introduction, but we're a fully online retailer. So one of our concepts is for women to be able to shop from the comfort of their own home. And so you'll notice, you know, I know some of your other in the dressing room come from, you know, live from a mastectomy shop, but we work from Kendra's home. And so being able to service Connie from her own home up in Northern Ontario and bring the products to her, I think it's just sort of an extra piece that we get such gratitude back for. So I'm going to share a different story. I'm going to share the story of Brian, actually. And Brian had started dating a beautiful woman that was a client of ours that had ordered quite a few of your products, AnaOno products. And she was so happy. I mean, I think we filled up a shopping cart with her, and she told Brian about us and just was so delighted. And we got a phone call from Brian, I think it was at the beginning of November, saying, I want to give her a beautiful closet full of lingerie for Christmas, and I want you to help me. I'm gonna cry. I want you to help me shop for her. She's the most beautiful woman, and I want her to feel so sexy. And gosh, we had some funny conversations with Brian as he was looking at all the different styles and the fits and the cuts, and trying to explain to him a strapless dress and like a little bit of lace, and you might want to try this. And oh my gosh, we had fun, and we filled up that shopping basket for him. And then we heard from both of them, I think on Boxing Day, of just what a beautiful Christmas gift it was. And, you know, we forget that breast cancer, it hits the whole family, and your friends and relationships. And, you know, one of the other things that we do is to try to help loved ones navigate this space as well, help them find the right gift, help, you know, a mother whose daughter is going through it, and, you know, provide some comfort and some solutions. So we always think we've got two targets. We've got the actual women, but then we also have this secondary target of loved ones, and try to sort of service them with the same care that we do. And then I think, you know, you want to tell them about the thank you card wall that our thank you card wall.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay.
Yes. It's so nice.
We take a bit of pride in our packaging that we send out to our customers. And so, you know, the ribbon and the shred and the tissue paper, but I always write a handwritten note. So, you know, in today's digital age, like handwritten notes have gone by way of the dinosaur, right? Pretty much. So I'm always surprised by the number of handwritten notes I get back from customers, just expressing their gratitude and thanks. And I've pinned them all up on the wall in my packaging room. So it's a constant reminder of all of our little proud special moments.
Yep.
I think that's so beautiful. And there's like so many like just awesome nuggets that you all just shared. And my mantra has been, since I launched AnaOno, was that as long as I make the difference in just one person's life a day, I've done my job.
Right.
And you guys just share in that ethos so much, because I've seen you grow. I've seen you conceptualize different programs and activities. And I think that, yes, like that handwritten thank you note, like you're there as a part of this story. You know, Lori, I couldn't agree with you more. Like some of these partners that come in and they're so overwhelmed, and they want to be supportive, and they want their loved one to feel beautiful, to celebrate their sexiness, and like to show them a certain way that they love them. And I always was just like such a strong believer that like, if you got sexy, beautiful lingerie from your partner before cancer, whether it was your birthday or Valentine's Day or Christmas or Boxing Day or whatever that day may have been, like that shouldn't be taken away from you because you have breast cancer now, nor should it be taken away from your love life and those emotions and that ability to like, you know, it's funny how like we're so wrapped up into like what is lingerie to us, but like there's something cheeky and nice about like knowing that somebody loves the way that you look.
Yeah.
And, you know, celebrating in that. And with Connie, you know, 8 years, right? Like forcing her way through some sort of life that was just not a fulfilling life, you know, for her. And it's always amazing to me, the stories of what a bra can do.
Yeah. Right. No.
And I just love that, because I've always said like AnaOno is more than a bra, because it's everything that it's wrapped around. And I can't, like, I had no idea what these stories were going to be. I'm like holding back the tears because I just think they're so special. And I love this thank you wall. Like, what a beautiful way to remember. And like these, I call them love notes.
Yes.
You know, it's like these love notes that come in, like, I don't even know if the people that are sending it, like, realize that impact that they've had on that person reading it on the other side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like I should take a picture of my wall so that they realize that it means just as much to me to get it back as, you know, clearly, you know, they appreciate the notes that we send out. So yes.
Oh, for sure.
All
And
the
like,
love
you've
letters.
you've inspired me. I have a stack. You know, and I kind of like wrap them up when the stack gets too big and they, you know, they go onto the shelf and I'm like, oh my God, what a beautiful way to just like, just fill the walls with these beautiful cards over all of this time. But
Yes.
I really, really love that. Well, you know, Lori, you talked about it here briefly. You did say that you're an all online business. And I think too, especially for the landscape of Canada, right? Like you guys are massive, but you also know that a huge portion of your population really exists in remote areas.
Yeah.
And servicing them is complicated.
Yeah.
And, you know, so why don't you share a little bit? Let's dive into our Canadian community, because I think they need to have this information. You know, how do they go about finding you? How, you know, what are all of these services? The fact that you guys are there on the other side of the phone or on the other side of the email, like helping them navigate what they need when they're newly diagnosed. Share with us how you're supporting the community from a digital and remote perspective.
Well, you know, what I want our customers and clients to know is, and you say this, you are not alone. I mean, we've heard that, and you're not alone. And I think Kendra and I talk about this often, that I think us being in an online space, you would think that there was that wall up, but I would argue we get an even more personal connection because we come to them in their homes, in their when they're changing, and can see the environment that they're in. You know, Kendra and I both have our cell phone numbers on our website, and we know because they can't see us and tangibly feel, we have to act as that go-between before we send that out. And, you know, I have to tell you, we struggled a lot with awareness. How do they even find us? Because just because we build a pretty website, it doesn't mean people will come. And, you know, you alluded to the fact that we started with doing a bunch of events and sort of building a little bit of a following in Ontario, and worked with the Canadian Cancer Society for broad days. I think, do they have broad days in the US? So we signed up for a bunch of those, and, you know, did some event marketing. Rethink Breast Cancer. We connected with them and sort of had access to their database. We started to expand our direct mail list and send out more things, and then invested in search engine optimization and Google AdWords, so more people could find us when they Googled, you know, mastectomy near me, and you know, spent a lot of time doing that. But, you know, I have to tell you, Dana, the biggest bang we get is through our word of mouth. And when we send abroad as somebody in Northern Ontario or on Victoria Island, you know, off the coast of British Columbia, and they know that they can return it for free, or they know that they can call us if the fit's just not right to get another option, and they see how easy it is, they talk to their friends. They go into their radiation treatment and they show the nurse their AnaOno bra that the nurse says, I've never felt anything so soft. Can you get some marketing materials? And then we get the call from, you know, Kim that says, hey, send us a stack of postcards. I'm going to bring it into my radiation nurse so she can pass on your information. And so we've had a lot of support in the healthcare field from women, or from healthcare workers that have had our clients and seen the products. And when we ask the question, how did you find out about us? It is often from a client. So as we've been around a little longer, I mean, we just celebrated our 4-year anniversary. And thank you. And so those things worked. I mean, Google AdWords, and like, they have their place, but we've been able to sort of dial back on that spending as more and more women find out about us and find out how easy the shopping experience is with us. So
what a beautiful thing. And listen, you know, when you're doing something right is when your friends refer you to the friends that have helped you, right? And that's such a huge, impactful way to not just build your business, because that's not what it's about. It's building the reach to support those that are diagnosed with breast cancer or any cancer, because as we all know, talking bras and lingerie is my favorite thing to do. But we might be more than a bra, but you guys are actually more than a bra. So share with us, because you guys really do run the gamut of all the things that any cancer patient may need on Gorgeous You. So take some time here. Explain to us what else can patients find when they come and shop your website.
Well, you know, we've always considered ourselves like a one-stop shop. We want to have the solution, and we want women from their initial diagnosis to well beyond. And we have women there, and we have women that are decades from their initial diagnosis. And so when you think about the diagnosis and what you need when you have surgery, what you need when you're going through chemotherapy, radiation. So, I mean, we carry your line of beautiful products, but we also carry creams and lotions. We carry mastectomy pillows. We carry
Sleepwear.
Yeah, sleepwear that's, you know, cooling when you have hot flashes when you go through chemotherapy. Yeah.
Swimwear.
Yes, swimwear.
Swimwear.
So, you know, anything that you can really think of when you're in that space. But we've really prided ourselves in, we want to just put what we think are the best solutions. So we want to take the confusing and guesswork out of it. So if it's been vetted by Kendra and Lori, and if it's on Gorgeous You, you don't need to look any further. So we don't have this deep line, or I guess breadth really, of brands, because, and we try different brands and go, this is not working for our clients. Peel that back, and we really try to take some of the guesswork, out of it.
Don't want them to feel overwhelmed. Like, cancer diagnoses are overwhelming enough. Like, so it's just, you know, the idea being that it's going to be simple, tried, true, and of course we back that with all of our, you know, extra free returns and customer service options. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think, you know, Kendra does a great job servicing our customers, and the amount of time that I mean, this is really her wheelhouse, the amount of time that she spends on the phone, on these virtual fitting appointments. You know, it'll always amaze me. An order will come in and she'll look at the order and go, that doesn't really make sense. This is this person's second order, and why are they? And she immediately will pick up the phone and say, you know, I think I've got a better option for you. Or, you know, I noticed that you ordered this, and I think I assume you're going through a surgery, you know, in a few months from now, let me get you set up with this. And I remember not knowing what I needed until somebody told me. And Kendra is just excellent at taking our customer through the journey, and arming them with the things they need before they even realize they need it. And because we have free returns, because we have, you know, if you are not happy, we want you to be happy. So it is not a selly thing. There is no pressure. It is, let us help you. And if we don't help you, we will make that right.
When we started, you know, we certainly recognized that being an online retailer in a space that is, you know, lingerie, mastectomy, things that where fit and comfort are of the utmost importance, we knew there were going to be skeptics that felt that they needed to be sort of in that dressing room, in that sort of bricks and mortar store. And I think you know, we recognized that and realized that we needed to combat that first and foremost. And we wanted to create sort of that risk-free shopping experience for our customers. So, you know, we have all the personal touch points so we can have that exchange, that consultation, whether it be through phone, email, online chat, virtual consultations, virtual fittings that we offer. So we have that sort of consultation if necessary or wanted. And we encourage that. It's our, like Lori mentioned, it's our cell phone numbers that are on our website. Yeah. So they're getting Lori or myself. And then, you know, in terms of the, you know, want to be able to try it on, well, absolutely try it on. You know, here, if you're not sure, like working through the size, your size guide, Dana, like God bless you, is so straightforward, so accurate and consistent across all of your bra size, their styles. So it makes my job so much easier. But, you know, they can shop with confidence because, and don't feel like they're committed because, you know what, like, let's throw a couple sizes in, or let's try a few styles, try them on at home in the comfort of your own home, and simply, you know, send back what doesn't work.
And sometimes I say to Kendra, you've just shipped out 10 bras. I only see they paid for 3. And she's like, I know, but I wanted to send out the colors and the size up and the size. I'm exaggerating, but it's not quite that.
You know, this is,
I do.
I'm telling you, if I have a sick employee, these customers are lucky when I pick up the phone, because I'm like, okay, here, hang on, let me just do this.
Yeah. The good news, I've never once lost a product.
No, they always send them back. Yep. But
I have to say, the most honest, trustworthy customers in the world.
Yes.
I have never had somebody that has not sent back what they didn't want or didn't want to wear. I mean, it's just, you know, you're building a community. And you
Yeah.
guys, what I love so much about what you just shared is like, you're providing a concierge
Yeah. Well,
service.
I like that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
It is white glove, buttoned up, 100% like service, right? And I think that that's such, I have chills. That's such a beautiful, beautiful way to be able to support, yeah, you're right. Patients that are overwhelmed, I keep leaning into this world right now that you don't know what you don't know. And as a cancer patient, you are so unprepared for everything.
Yes.
From your treatment to your lifestyle, to your clothing, to your diet, to your fitness, your entire life is uprooted.
That's right.
And there is not a singular piece that stays intact, except for that the world keeps spinning around you and you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just like, it's this beacon of light to say like, okay, I don't know what I don't know, but they do.
Yeah.
And with that Lori and Kendra seal of approval.
Yeah. Well, and we always
We're gonna
say
get it.
it's easy for me because I've been there. Like I had a double mastectomy. I had chemotherapy. I had radiation. I had my ovaries removed. I was a young mother at the time. So I can relate I have been in the trenches where you are and know. And then Kendra, I mean, I think it's such a lovely partnership because she has seen her mother and her dear friend. And so I feel like we have a great perspective, like a 360-degree perspective on this, and that is very trustworthy. And when I say, gosh, this is my favorite bathing suit, or like I wear this bra 90% of the time, with the exception of when I'm working, my favorites are the Molly and the Monica and the Bianca. And so, whenever somebody gets me, those are the ones I push because I love
Well, I
them.
know by the way that you sell.
Yeah.
Top bras.
That's because, that's what, and so I think that, there's an authenticity to it when you can say, I have been there, and Kendra can say, I have been there. And, I think that's a little bit a part of the secret sauce for us, for sure.
Yeah.
100%. And speaking of being there, you guys also provide an incredible service to the Canadian community, and something that we know, especially here in the US, and I would imagine it might be introduced to you guys as well, because our healthcare systems are so different. But post-surgical mastectomy bras and breast forms are covered underneath health insurance benefits. So if I didn't voice that right for your community, please fix it for me.
Yeah.
But please talk about how patients can leverage this benefit so they can get what they need to get through their treatments.
Great. Do you want to talk about this, or?
No,
Yeah.
you go ahead.
Okay. So there's sort of two things. So you're partially correct. Every person is guaranteed a certain amount of money for the prosthesis, whether you have private health insurance or not. Every 2 years, you can have them replaced. So that is in fact the case.
So is it like an allowance? Is it like an allowance?
So I want to say, and don't quote me, but I want to say it's $400 every 2 years. I think that's right. So by the way, double mastectomy, it doesn't cover it. Like, when I did, my silicone prostheses,
Everybody gets $400 across the board.
It's $400 across the board. That's right. But where we differ from the US and where it is very surprising to our clients is 80% of Canadians have some sort of private health care. It's that's sort of the number that we can find. Let's say between 70 and 80% have some sort of private health care. There is not one healthcare policy, a private healthcare policy, that doesn't have an allowance for things like mastectomy bras. We have seen policies that you get 2 bras every year. We have seen policies that you get 6 items every year. It can be anything, and it could be a bathing suit. It could be your robe for surgery. Yeah, hats, and women don't know that, and I didn't know that even after being a survivor. I didn't realize that until we started Gorgeous You. And because I still teach at the college and I have, a great benefit plan through the college. And under my plan, I get 6 items. I get 6 items a year. 6 bras a year is pretty great. And so when we tell our clients this, they just, it's amazing because a huge percentage of them get at least some sort of
dollar allowance or item allowance,
reimbursement. So we do think of our job as educators as well. and are often reaching out and saying, do you have insurance? Do you have insurance?
Just call them, make the call.
Yeah.
Make the
And
call.
so any Canadians listening out there, call your insurance companies, because, and then it resets every year. So, and we get a lot of repeat purchase business because we've educated our consumer, and then, you know, they call us in 12 months and say, I'm ready for my next, you know, 4, 5, 6 items. So, yeah.
It's really such an important part that unfortunately is left at the doctor's office door and is not necessarily translated all the way through treatment. And I think that this is such a huge opportunity, right, to get what you need and leverage some of this coverage that, you know, most people have, but not all. So then, is there any other programs that you have for people that aren't within the coverage? And I know it's different because your healthcare system is very different than we are here in the US. So we have a lot of uninsured people in the US.
Yeah.
But is there any difference if you don't have that secondary insurance of any, you know, any preparation that they can prepare for?
So, you know, what I would tell you is this: we have had some lovely women that have said, I want to donate some money. And if somebody calls you and says they can't quite afford it, I'd like to set aside this money. And we have had that, like, you know, so there's smaller programs that we have like that, but there isn't anything. I mean, we listen, when they catch us on the phone, certainly, and we hear these stories and how expensive this, I mean, we have certainly provided some, you know, lots of products over the years on
Sharpened the pencil a few times
on a one-off basis. But that being said, there are certainly organizations like the Canadian Cancer Society, like Look Good, Feel Better, which I know you have in the US, like Rethink, you know, our Canadian chapter, where they do have at least resources and have donation programs and things like that. So we as Canadians like to take care of each other. And so certainly there are programs out there for sure.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, you guys are such an inspiration to me. I'm so thankful to be one of your partners, and I'm so grateful that you can help us serve our Canadian community. We're always sending people your way because we just think it's better to leverage that insurance, get those free returns, do all of those amazing things. But what is it here as we wrap up? Is there anything else that you guys want to share with the community before we sign off?
Oh boy. Well, we would love to hear from you. Don't be afraid to reach out. We're here. Oh gosh, we just love to help and want to help. So feel free to do so. Just our website has all the information that they need and all the different touch points that they can take advantage of. So it's, you know, go GorgeousYou.style.com or GorgeousYou.ca. It's .ca for those that are living in Canada, and they'll find us.
Yeah, and I would probably just like to close to say, you know, the gratitude that we feel from our community, we feel so blessed to be brought into their lives at such vulnerable moments and for them to share with us. And it helps me. It's like a therapy session for me that, you know, even 12 years out, to connect with these women. And I think we're just both really, really grateful to be given the opportunity to help in any way that we can. So yeah, we feel pretty blessed.
And I just want to add the caveat that they also ship to the US and Canada. So please, for all of those listening in the US as well, you can shop for all of the beautiful items on their website.
And we still do free returns too from the US.
So, and free returns from the US.
We have the US locations that we return to in the US. So our policies are the same across North America in terms of our service. So.
Amazing. That's so incredible. So again, let's just do one last plug for any social media handles, website, shopping, all the good things, so everybody knows exactly where to find you.
Good. So it's GorgeousYou.style.com. That's going to get you there, or GorgeousYou.ca. Either one will get you there. And then those are our Gorgeous You Style, our handles both on Facebook, on Instagram as well. Right. So you can find us there. And then, as Kendra alluded to, or you could just call us on our cell phones because I think we've had a few calls as we, so if you want to just talk to us, then pick up the phone and you'll get us. We pride ourselves on trying to get back to people really quickly. So any questions we can help answer, but start with the website. That's probably the best place to reach out. Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic. Well, I appreciate you both so much for joining in the dressing room with me. and love to get the opportunity to share your stories and of course the story of Gorgeous You. You are both gorgeous people and we're so grateful. So until next time, my friends.
Thank you,
Yes.
Dana.
Bye, Dana.
Thank you.